All right, so this is one of my weekly check-ins. Checking in with you guys on what's going on with health, wellness, and everything that I have going on, I guess, is what you'd say. So this past week or so, since my last video, I've been able to play pickleball once. Some really cool stuff is I was on the local news.
Tulsa Shields is working to promote a big watch party for the OKC Thunder tonight, and they're hoping to make it one of the biggest to date with Stephen Hester, a local realtor. So joining us this morning, we got Bobby Brown from Shields, Stephen Hester, the 918 agent on social. Good morning, guys. Good morning.
At my job, we partnered with Stephen, the 918 agent. If you're from Tulsa, you probably have heard of him. He's got about 49,000 followers on Instagram. We had collaborated with him at Shields on some food review videos. He does that quite a bit on his Instagram channel or Instagram page. And he had reached out about an idea. He was doing some Oklahoma City Thunder watch parties, and he wanted to do a really big one. He wanted to break the record for Wee Street Ice Rink. That's a ice rink here in town. And he wanted to break the record of 120 people to show up for a Thunder watch party. So he partnered up with Shields and me and Joseph, who do social media. And we, did some gift cards, some giveaways, and did some video promoting it. I had reached out to somebody I knew on Channel 6. She had connected me with a producer, and we were able to get on the morning show, News on 6 in the morning, which is on the Tulsa CW, which is not the... How do I explain it? If you were tuned into CBS, you would not have seen the show. But if you tuned into the local CBS, the Tulsa CW, you would have seen us on the show. So it was really cool. Me and Steve were on the show talking about the watch party. It was really cool. And then I got to go to a chili bowl race, the Tulsa Chili Bowl, which is, I believe it's midget cars or sprint cars. I think it's midget cars. And so I got to go to that and check that out. That was really cool. And then of course the Thunder watch party went there. We had about 196 people show up. So we beat the record. So that's fantastic. So great week overall. As far as my eating, I've done great eating. I did kind of fall off, I would say. Last night, I had some ice cream, some homemade ice cream at a friend's house. Had some delicious, what was really cool is they knew that we were doing, me and Misty were doing the carnivore. Me more carnivore-ish and Misty a little less carnivore-ish, but still, I guess you would say maybe meat-based. Last night, we had dinner over there, and they made some chicken, some ground turkey, and made it into patties with cheese on top. And then they had some ham that they roasted, and what else did they have? Oh, some sausages. So they had all kinds of meat. Oh, and they made deviled eggs. It was all delicious, so great. But it was just really cool that these friends were like, "You're on the carnival, right?" And we're like, "Yeah." And so they made a bunch of meat. Now they had some salad with their dinner, but I didn't have any salad. But it was really good. But they did want to show off their new Ninja Creamery. Or is it Creamify? Creamery. I think it's called Creamery. They wanted to show it off, and so they made some homemade ice cream, and it was delicious. They made blueberry cheesecake, and they made butter pecan. But it was, a healthier version. They, of course, had whipping cream in there, some other stuff to make the ice cream, but for the sweetener, they used monk fruit. So, it wasn't straight sugar, but not on the... Well, was there other stuff? Would it be on? No, because they had some Jell-O, some or some sugar-free Jell-O. I guess they use a Jell-O. I'm not sure what that's used for the ice cream, but they had that in there. But it was delicious. It was very good and had some whipping cream on top. Now, I have a new thing that we're doing. It was something that me and Misty said we were going to do for the year. We said, what are we going to accomplish this year? Is it toward the beginning of the year we had this talk, and one of the things I wanted to do as a couple was a mud run. And she found that the Mud Factor is happening in Tulsa in June, so we're going to start training for that. So I'm going to document that on here and have some fun with that. That's going to be one of those things that's going to be great to help motivate me to get some running in. I'm going to start doing some sprints, some running work to build up my endurance. And then, of course, get back to the strength training so I can do the obstacles that they have. So I'm super excited about that. I've done the Mud Factor back in 2-3 years ago. Did it in Kansas, and I had a good time. So I'm going to do the same thing in Tulsa, do the Mud Factor, so it should be fun. That's really it as far as a check-in. I'm not weighing myself, but I'm wondering if I should weigh myself to have some sort of gauge. I do know the way my pants feel, just being transparent here. My pants are pretty tight compared to what they were about 6 months ago. So I definitely, I knew I was gaining weight, but I can really tell I have gained weight in my clothes. And that's, honestly, when I was sitting down last night having dinner, it was on my mind. Like, I'm sitting there, but I can feel my belt around the waist band or whatever of my pants around my stomach, and it just was, I was so frustrated. Even while I'm having a great time, we ended up playing some games. Rooma Cube. That was fun. That was a fun game. We were playing that, and the whole time I'm thinking, I hate the way I feel. I hate how I feel in my clothes. And it's like, do I hate it enough to do something about it? Well, I've gone up and down with this. If you follow me at all on this journey, you know that I keep going back and forth, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight. Got to stick to eating better. That's the big thing, is eating better. So anyway, I'm rambling. I am going to be back on track, doing the training for the Mud Factor, back on track with my mindset of losing weight and getting back in better health. I can feel my joints just aching. I don't like that, so I'm going to get it back to eating real food, eating healthy. And I did tell you in the well, also we're going to I've actually filmed me making the Meatzza. One of you requested that I do a video on the Meatzza, so I did. So I did a little video showing you how I make Meatzza. So a few of you asked about doing the meat pizza or carnivore pizza. This is my version of it. Now, I discovered this when I was doing paleo a long time ago. Discovered there was different ways of doing it, and this is how I do it. I like to take some ground beef and then take some Italian sausage, and I mix in the Italian sausage with the ground beef. Now, I use one of the Italian sausage links. The oven is ready. I use it for a topping and the rest for the crust. So this is basically my crust. And then of course you have the cheese. So I have some mozzarella cheese and some cheddar cheese for a little different flavoring. Pepperoni as topping. And then for the sauce is a marinara sauce. This is actually a brand I've never tried. Yo Mama's sauce. This is a brand I've never tried, so I'm interested to see how this tastes. Now I know you're gonna, if you come across this and you're like super strict carnivore, I get that this isn't completely carnivore, and I'm sure that some of you are gonna say that there's stuff in the Italian sausage and stuff in the pepperoni where it is a processed meat. Totally get that, but sometimes I just gotta like have some variety, so I have this for my variety. And yes, this is not meat. It has some vegetables in it, but it is very clean, or at least as clean as I would think it'd be. It's got fresh tomatoes, fresh onions, fresh garlic, olive oil, basil, salt, oregano, black pepper, and parsley, not paisley. Paisley is the little thing, it's parsley. So maybe I shouldn't call it a carnivore pizza, because it's not really carnivore. Meat-based pizza, or Meatzza, as I originally said. So we'll call it a Meatzza from there. So I take one of the Italian sausage, and I will get that cooking. Well, no, first I'll put them in here so I can mix them while the skillet heats up. The Italian sausage, I've tried it before I used to do ground beef with ground pork, and that wasn't too bad. That was pretty good. One time I tried it with ground lamb. Ground lamb wasn't fatty enough. It tasted okay, but it wasn't as good as with the ground pork. And then one time I was shopping and I thought, you know what, I haven't Italian sausage in a while. And I know this has got stuff in it that isn't very carnivore-ish, but then I thought, I wonder if this tastes any good. I did it anyway. I got some Italian sausage and tried it, and it was very good. So we put the Italian sausage in here so to cook, and this will be used as a topping. All right, so what I've done here is I've mixed those Italian sausages with the ground beef. And I like to make sure it's nice and mixed in together. And then I add a little bit of Italian seasoning. Again, I get it. If you're super strict carnivore, maybe that's something you don't want to do. But I like to put it in there, and maybe a little bit of salt as well for taste. Then I put that in the cooking sheet, spread it out. This is what will make the delicious crust. So good. Try to make it nice and even throughout the whole cooking sheet. That'll go in the oven for about 10 minutes, 350 degrees. So after 10 minutes in the oven at 350, you're gonna see there's quite a bit of like grease. And so what I typically do is I will pour the grease out. I'll put it in for another couple minutes and then pour the grease out again so that the crust isn't so greasy. All right, now that we have this awesome Meatzza crust. Now you put your toppings on it. I'm gonna dry it off just a little bit more so we don't have too much grease on here. We take the Yo Mama's sauce and we put it all over the delicious meat crust. Plenty of sauce. Then we put a couple of pepperonis on there. A little bit of the Italian sausage. And we add some of the mozzarella cheese. I love me some good cheese. Then we add another layer of pepperoni. Add some more of the Italian sausage. One time I added barbecue sauce instead of the marinara sauce and it was really good. Might have to do that again. Add a little more cheese. Then we add a little bit of the Colby Jack, just for a little bit of extra flavor. Ooh, yes. A little salt bay, cheese bay action. There we go. All right, perfect. Then we're gonna put this back into the oven for about 3 minutes on broil. Then you pull it out of the oven and you have this delicious meatzza. Let it rest for about 2 minutes and then we'll take a bite and see what it tastes like. All right, now it's time for a little taste. Now I know it's gonna taste good because I've made this plenty of times and it always turns out delicious, but we'll see how this one turned out. Look at that, look at that. That one's got meat, cheese, some marinara sauce. So good. That is so good. I'm telling you, you need to make this so good. It's a good little break from just eating meat only. With the tomato sauce and the cheese and the pepperoni, very good. And definitely the secret is putting in Italian sausage with the ground beef. I don't think you'll regret it. If you try this recipe out, if you try that out, super simple recipe. If you try it, let me know in the comments. Let me know how yours turned out. Let me know if you made any changes. Otherwise, I will check in with you guys on the next check-in. And I'll have some video footage of some training that I'm gonna do. So we'll talk to you guys on the next one.